just a parking lot, right? It's our parking lot. We have several copies of it. Well, then nobody would know what they're doing. Run away. Run away. Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I'm Sarah Gray, a member of this congregation and the worship team here at 1U. With me in today's service are our worship leaders, Director of Lifespan Religious Enrichment, Judith Stein-Farrall, Reverend Margalie Belizaire, our Director of Music, Aubrey Connelly-Candelario with the Chalice Choir, our accompanist, Danny Monzon-Villegas, board member Andy Berry, and our 1U players, Maya, Daniele, Karina, and Bram. Let's not forget all the different people and groups that work diligently in the backgrounds to ensure that we come together on Sunday mornings. Thank you. This is an all-ages service today. We are encouraging the children to remain in the room with us and take part as they are comfortable. We greet you this morning, old friends and new ones, as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to the community. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we are a non-creedal community that does not subscribe to a specific set of beliefs. We live by a covenant that encourages ethical behavior, affirms democracy, celebrates the worth of each individual, and unites us in a search for truth and meaning. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome here. In this community, your whole self is welcome. We welcome your race, national origin, immigration status, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background. We welcome you. For more information about our congregation and announcements, go to orlandouu.org or email info@orlandouu.org. We have a few special announcements today. From Lifespan Religious Enrichment, there are several all-ages RE field trips coming up, including a service and opportunity for Q&A with a Seventh-day Adventist congregation, a tour of Temple Israel in Oviedo with Rabbi Neely, and a tour of the Orange County landfill. Details about these and others can be linked to from the weekly update in a hard copy list that is available at the membership table in Gore Hall during fellowship hour. RSVPing for them is necessary, so please be sure to take a look. There is no Welcoming Wednesday this week. We will resume on November 29th at 6 p.m. in the sanctuary. After the service this week, we will share in delicious soups, cornbread, and desserts. Conversations with the Minister is being offered today following the worship service. This is a time for casual conversations with Reverend Margalie, friends, and newcomers. Bring your questions, share your thoughts, meet other seekers. For some, this will be a first step in church membership. For others, just a chance to meet Reverend Margalie and other 1U friends. No matter, all are welcome. Offered on the third Sunday of each month as possible. Gather in the Gore Hall Room B at 11:45. We'll wrap by 12:30, hosted by the 1U membership team. Now, a special announcement from Board President Paul Knight.
Come on.
I don't know what I did. I didn't.
Yeah. Need you to hold those for me for a minute. Okay. When the Unitarian Universalist Ministerial Fellowship Committee grants ministers preliminary fellowship, they start their journey towards full fellowship. Those with preliminary fellowship have to meet the requirements of the Unitarian Universalist Ministerial Fellowship Committee as outlined in their credentialing requirements. These challenging credential requirements include educational requirements, meetings with mentors, post-education requirements, reviews to be undertaken, and many, many more. When we called Reverend Margalie, she was traveling down the last part of this journey. We'll come to find out this month, Reverend Margalie Belizaire received notice of having met all the requirements and is now considered a minister in full fellowship. So please join the board and myself in congratulating Reverend Margalie on this wonderful requirement.
Thank you so much. Yes. Woohoo! I am very excited, actually, and thank you from the board and the Committee on Shared Ministry for all the evaluations you completed and all that good stuff. So thank you so much, and thank you everyone for making it so easy for me to be able to meet the requirements. Wow, okay, so I will stop here. But I do have an announcement. Sarah was gonna call me up, but since I'm already up here. So on the 29th, by we, I mean myself, Reverend Kathy, Reverend Marnie, and Reverend Kirsten will hold a special Vesper service, and that's a Wednesday night here in the sanctuary. And we're really focusing on lament, just all the different things that are going on in the world, plus the war right now in Israel, Gaza. So we just kind of want to make space for our grief, for all that's going on. And so we invite you to come in, and depending on the need, we'll hold conversations afterwards. So that is the 29th, that is the last Wednesday in November at 6 p.m. here. We will hold this special service with conversation to follow. There's a need for it. So we hope that if this is something that that your soul needs, that your spirit needs, that you will come and join us. Thank you, and thank you.
Danielle? All right. Can you read the words? Right there. Get right there.
Please say the words with me as we light the chalice. In the
light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Please stand in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 349, We Gather Together. The lyrics will be displayed on the screen.
To be with you this morning for our Thanksgiving service. May you hear clearly in this service the importance of community and of gratitude, cultivating gratitude in our lives. May we also hold the complexity of this holiday as we wrestle with the knowledge that for the indigenous peoples of this land. This might not be a time for celebration, but a reminder of genocide, theft of lands, and assault on the culture. So we'll be sharing a story with you, but remember, it's only one story. As you hear other stories this Thanksgiving season, may you reflect on the fact that you are only hearing the story from one perspective. There may be other perspectives and other tellings. May we have the strength and the courage to hold all complexities. And I now call us to worship with the words of Reverend Andre Moll. All that we share is sacred. As we gather together, may we remember, when you share with me what is most important to you, that is where listening begins. When I show you that I hear you, that when I say your life matters, that is where compassion begins. When I open the door to greet you, that is where hospitality begins. When I venture out to bring you to a shelter, that is where love begins. Then when I risk my comfort to ease your suffering, when I act against hatred, violence, and injustice, that is where courage begins. When we experience the full presence of each other because of our shared humanity, because of our shared differences, that is where holy gratitude begins. May this space be a table that is not complete until all are welcome. May this table be a space of beauty where together we create a series of miracles, and when all that we share is sacred. May it be so. And let's greet one another, everyone. Greetings.
There was a change on the Graham. Hold on. There was a change on the horizon as cool wind blew from the north, and folks in a certain southern environment were excited to see the mercury occasionally drop to 60 degrees. And just as everyone was feeling hopeful that they would soon turn off their air conditioning and save some money, they remembered that they would have to turn on their heat. There was a change coming, a change that was strong and steady, like the beat of a drum. Winter was descending on Orlando.
As almost always, the crowd at the farmer's market had been wonderful. People came from all over Central Florida to buy fresh vegetables, including corn, tomatoes, potatoes, onions, and squash. And then there were fresh cooked goodies like apple and pumpkin pies, jams and jellies, pickles and peppers. The bounty was plenty at first, but at the end of a busy day, almost all of the food was gone. The stands were all but empty. The vendors' pockets were full of cash, but they were already busy thinking about the new seeds they would have to buy, the growing water bill that came with gardens, the cost of gas to transport their food to the market, and all of the other expenses that come with owning your own business. Some might have thought the folks were bountiful, but they only saw their deficits. It was the end of the day, and the vendors packed up and began to head home.
Two strangers were watching the vendors close their booths. Their tummies were empty, and they could still smell the fragrant food smells of the market lingering in the air. They approached a vendor who was not quite done packing up and asked if maybe they had something left to eat.
No, we sold most of it and everything's packed up already. And we must get on the road. I'm sorry.
And the vendors hurried away, and soon the space was completely empty of people and food, except for the two strangers and a cook pot that the strangers left behind.
The hungry strangers picked up the abandoned pot and tried to wave down the vendors to no avail. Walking in the direction of the vanishing vendors, the strangers followed until they turned into a parking lot next to a big gray stone and glass building that sort of looked like a church.
The two strangers were cousins, and they looked about, confused. Beside the church was a parking lot where many of the vendors from the market had come to rest, and the two strangers were very hungry, and they tried to get the attention of the folks in the lot. But no one paid them any attention. These were the same folks who did not have enough to share just an hour earlier, and one of the cousins put the pot down in the middle of the property and said,
"You know what? I'm hungry and no one seems to have enough to share. I think we should make some stone soup for these people so we can all eat a little something together."
The other cousin picked up the smallish round stone in the parking lot and lifted it in their hands and said,
"Here, cousin, I have a perfect stone for our feast. Will this do?"
And the cousins set up a fire under the pot and filled the pot with water from a hose on the side of the building and placed the stone in the nearly boiling water.
"This will be just right in about an hour."
And a few of the vendors who were sitting in their trucks in the parking lot said to the cousins,
What are you doing? You can't do that here.
"We're not doing any harm. You all were in such a hurry to get here, and you were clear that you did not have enough food, so we thought we would help you and make a batch of stone soup."
What in the world is stone soup?
"It is the most delicious recipe I ever had."
And it's made of a stone?
As it happens, that is all you need, plus some water, of course. The cousins said they knew times are rough, but if you keep your hope in times of trouble, sometimes a stone and water are all you need to sustain you. Stone soup is an ancient family recipe, and it will feed everyone in this parking lot and more. It's too bad they don't have an onion or a shallot. Stone soup is always better if you season it just a bit.
I have one onion left, and I'm feeling a little peckish myself. It was so busy today, I had no time to eat.
Me too, said another vendor. Say, does this soup need anything else?
I'm Andy Berry. a member of your Board of Trustees. As we have participated in creating this lovely soup simmering in front of us, we invite you now into another practice of generosity. It's one of our spiritual values which sustains the life and ministries of our church community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give, for it is the privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for our needs, for they give us the opportunity to practice receiving. Today, the full collection will go to the ministries of 1U. You can also donate to our Share the Plate recipient this month, Planned Parenthood. Remember that the Alliance will match the collection for Planned Parenthood up to $1,000, so please let us know if you donate to them. The offering will now be collected, and note that you can also give online using the link provided. What is offered here today in the spirit of gratitude and fellowship.
Soon the soup boiled, and all the vendors left the safety of their trucks and vans to gather round the two cousins and their stone soup. One cousin casually said, "Too bad we don't have any potatoes or turnips to make this soup a little thicker," and a vendor produced a large russet potato from the back of his truck.
Vendors began to search their beds and their trucks, and under their floorboards of their vans, and I'll go to the microphone.
Yeah.
Vendors began to search their beds and trucks and under the floorboards of their vans, and soon they discovered a cache of forgotten vegetables like the beat of a steady drum. More and more vendors marched to the pot to add their meager treasure to the soup. Like the vendor that found that potato, we invite all who have something to share with those in need to bring your offerings to the cooking pot. Those with actual vegetables, please bring them to the pot. Those with offerings for Joy MCC, please take them to either this cart or that cart. Going to be delicious. Just then, the minister of the church walked out of the building.
What is all this? I got cut up in a Zoom meeting for a few minutes, and then the whole courtyard seems to have caught fire.
The cousins, they were hungry, and so and they offered to make us some stone soup to feed all of us. Everyone contributed a little something.
Well, I want to contribute too. I have just this can of anchovies.
Reverend Margalie, we appreciate the offer. This year, I think we should put those aside for a nice Caesar salad. But please come join us for our communal meal.
Well, okay, I am sad that you've refused my anchovies because I've been using them for soup for like 3 years, but I'm glad you found that if you shared, there was enough for everyone. May this fire under this pot that has cooked and made those vegetables tender and tasty burn with a brilliant glow. May light be a light of freedom. Let it burn and let it grow.
sure to come, and that change is strong and steady, like the beat of a drum, like the beat of a drum, like the beat, like the beat, like the beat of a drum, drum, drum.
A couple of deep breaths as we transition from this beautiful and joyful music into our time set aside for deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. If you have a sorrow that you need witnessed or helped with, or a joy that you wish to share, please contribute to our collective sharing of joys and sorrows to be read here each Sunday during service. You can do so by emailing us during the week at joysandsorrows@orlandouu, or if you're attending in person, you can fill out a card at the welcome table, and the folks out there welcoming you make sure that we receive it up here. We also make space for whatever it is that you want to continue to hold close to your heart. We make space for you to silently come up here and light a candle for that or for anything else. So bring your joys, bring your sorrows as we come together. Come as you are. Your whole self is welcome into this sacred space we are creating together. We have these flowers here. They are provided by Cindy Schleier in gratitude for the caring team members for all that you do in love and compassion for this community. Thank you, caring team members. We have a note from Cindy, just letting us know that Ellen Horn, a long-term member of this congregation, is in need of friendly calls. Usually between 8 and 10 p.m. would work best for her. This will allow her daughter some needed respite during those hours, and also connect Ellen with a friendly voice from another one of her communities. And a reminder that Ellen does have dementia, so information is posted in Caring Bridge, or reach out to the caring team for more information. Also, if you can, in-person visits are also welcome. We also have a deep sorrow to report that Jim and Arlene Delore, that Jim's mother, Dolores, passed away suddenly on Monday, on November 18th and November 13th in Indiana. Our compassion, our love with you as you grieve the passing of your mother. We have from Shirley Jensen sharing that she's sharing this with joy that on November 21st, Shirley and Ron will be celebrating 70 years of marriage. And Shirley adds that it all went by too fast. And from the larger community, tomorrow, the 20th, is International Transgender Day of Remembrance, a day to memorialize those who have been murdered as a result of transphobia, sending love and compassion to those who continue to be persecuted simply for living their authentic selves. And The 23rd, as I think most people here know, is the day we celebrate Thanksgiving here. Also, keep in mind, it is also National Day of Mourning for many indigenous people, many of the indigenous peoples of this land. We continue to hold our Orlando community in love as our state continues to need comfort and activism to eradicate hate. We also continue to hold our global community in love as continued conflicts beset communities around the world. And right now, front of mind, of course, is the situation in Gaza and Israel. May the violence end quickly, and may those at the brunt of it receive the care they need, and may their basic needs be met. And for all the joys and sorrows of this community and beyond, for joys that were shared here today and sorrows, for those that were held close to the heart, let us pray, let us celebrate, and let's send one another healing energy. And I now offer this blessing in this sacred space, a blessing of gratitude by Gwen Matthews. Today, we are thankful for you and what you bring to our church. Your spirit, your talents, generosity, imagination, and dedication reaffirm our fellowship and create our beloved community. Our heartfelt thanks to you on this day and for all the days to come. For those who embrace Thanksgiving as a day to honor the gifts of family, friendship, abundance, security, we celebrate with you and join our voices to hold aloft all sacred blessings. And for those who hold Thanksgiving as a day of sadness, we mourn for the hurt and loss of the Native people who are lonely, who grieve the loss of those dear and beloved. We hold your heartache and sorrow so that you do not have to carry the burden alone. Blessings upon you, blessings upon us all. And now, please come forward as you are willing and able and light a candle of thanksgiving and gratitude, of remembrance, loving kindness, or hope. If you would light one last candle for those who are attending online. What we need is here, yes. We have shared this wonderful story with you, as we have the last couple of years. It's a story about a group of people coming together, building community. A story to remind us of what can be accomplished when people come together and share whatever little they have, and how putting yours with mine, we can provide enough to sustain one another. May we remember that on Thanksgiving and on every other day of the year. May we be grateful for community. As we continue in the spirit of giving thanks and being grateful for community, I'd like to invite us to reflect on soup as a metaphor for our religious community itself. Soup, a concoction of diverse ingredients coming together to nourish the body, and the same way that our community is a soulful stew where each unique individual contributes to the rich tapestry of our shared existence. I see the parallels between the warmth of a well-made soup and the warmth of our communal bonds. And the stirring of the pot, we find a profound lesson about the value of coming together, trusting in our community's ability to care for its members, and realizing that just like the ingredients in a soup, we need one another. We cannot go it alone. Imagine a pot. Hopefully the fact that we just made imaginary soup will prove helpful. So once again, imagine a pot of soup with various vegetables, spices, sometimes grains, coming together in harmony. First Unitarian Church of Orlando is akin to this savory blend, a fusion of diverse beliefs, background, experiences, gifts, talents, etc. We celebrate the uniqueness of each ingredient, recognizing that our strength lies in what each of us bring to our concoction, our community. And the richness of each talent, the different stories of each member's life, the diverse experiences, because of our diverse identities and social locations, we find potential for a flavorful and fulfilling community life. As Gwen Matthews notes from today's prayer, your spirit, talents, generosity, imagination, and dedication reaffirm our fellowship and create our beloved community. Our heartfelt thanks to you on this day and for all days to come. And the soup doesn't come together instantly. It requires time and care. As you saw from the stone soup we made, you just have to imagine, even though we did it imagine that all of this was happening over a nice long period with things simmering. Similarly, our community flourishes through the trust we place in the process of our shared journey. Trusting in our community's ability to care for its member is like trusting in the simmering process of a soup. It's a patient understanding that in time, the collective warmth and nourishment will emerge. Just as a well-seasoned broth ties the ingredients together, our UU values act as the fundamental elements that bind us in covenant. Our values provide the space for each individual to be seen, to be heard, and valued, a soulful broth that encompasses the diverse ingredients of this community. As you heard from our opening words, when I show up and when I show you that I hear you, when I say your life matters, that is where compassion begins. When I open the door to greet you, that is where hospitality begins. When I venture out to bring you to shelter, that is where love begins. When I risk my comfort to ease your suffering, when I act against hatred, violence, and injustice, that is where courage begins. When we experience the full presence of each other because of our shared humanity, because of our differences, that is where holy gratitude begins. And now back to our metaphor, considering attempting to make soup with only one ingredient, right? We saw here, even let's say the stone. Okay, a potato. It would be an incomplete soup if it was just a potato. You would need, similar to the illusion of independence, overlooks the vital interdependence that defines our communal existence. And the dance of flavors and textures, we find that we need one another. Our community is incomplete without the unique contributions of each member, just as a soup lacks depth without its diverse ingredients. So, as we sit down to share a meal of soup, cornbread, and desserts in Gore Hall following the service, let us savor not only the taste of the food, but also the richness of our 1U community. And the soulful stirring of our communal pot, we discover the essence of gratitude. May our shared journey continue to be a source of nourishment, warmth, and sustenance. As we affirm our commitment to each other, let us remember that, like a well-made soup, our community is a testament to the transformative power of coming together. May it be so, and may we be so blessed. Now, please stand in body or spirit and join me as we sing our closing hymn, number 347, Gather the Spirit. Lyrics will be displayed on the screen.
Gather
to be grateful for our beloveds. Let us be grateful for community, for what we receive from it, and for what we bring to it. Let us rejoice in it. May we be so blessed. Beloveds, worship has ended, and now the service truly begins. And our call to action for you is this Thanksgiving, we invite you to reflect on the complexity of this holiday, how the old story is simply one story. There are others, and they are more than worthy of our full attention, those of the indigenous peoples of this land.
Please say the words with me as we extinguish this flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of unity, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Yeah, she's got a problem with it.
Thank you, and thank you.
See you Tuesday.
Yeah.